Hey there, I'm meteorologist Ryan Shoptaw. We have the winter storm warning continuing across our area. Most of Texas underneath at least one level or another of cold weather, cold extreme conditions, or a winter storm warning, which is the entirety of pretty much all of West Texas down to the Concho Valley, out towards El Paso, even parts of New Mexico. About 20 different states are underneath some level of a winter storm warning. So that's the big weather story this weekend. Here's live conditions across San Angelo and the Concho Valley. Temperature at the moment, 16 degrees. Yesterday afternoon we were at 55, so it just shows you how cold this Arctic air mass is. Matter of fact, let's take a look at regional temperatures. San Angelo, 16, that's air temperature. We'll take a look at wind chills in a second. 12 in Abilene, single digits in the Panhandle, 1 degree in Amarillo. That is extremely bitterly cold. Oklahoma towards parts of Kansas, we're talking single digits, if not below zero in the core of that Arctic air. 34 at Del Rio and 15 over near Midland and Odessa. Factor in the winds, that's also a big contributor of just how cold it is outside. It's going back and forth. It's not, I wouldn't say a consistent, sustained wind, but every now and then 15 to 30 miles per hour on those occasional gusts. But yeah, it feels like temperature down to 6 in San Angelo, -3 in Abilene, 12 in Dallas, 20 at Kerrville, several degrees below zero across the Central Plains. Matter of fact, here are those occasional wind gusts. This is over the last hour. So again, these are not sustained minute wind speeds. These are every now and then wind gusts near 30 to 35 miles per hour between Junction, San Angelo, Big Spring, Snyder, at about 18 miles per hour on the on and off wind gusts near 29 to 30 in Abilene. Here's local temperatures, pretty chilly out there. I would just say pretty cold. 12 in Abilene, 16 at Brownwood, 13 at Graham, and 14 at Big Lake. So again, these are going to be, this is the trend for the next several hours. Arctic air continues to draw farther to the south and push across parts of West Texas, meaning our air temperatures are not going to warm up all that much because we're still seeing what we call cold air advection. The cold air is still moving in from the north, and the cloud cover is not going to help, and the light rain, the precip that's moving through, just remains in this cold pattern across parts of West Texas. Okay, let's talk about future temperatures first. We'll look at radar, we'll look at future rain totals, ice accumulation, and even possibility at some snowfall in a second. But first, the temperatures. Here's tonight through Sunday morning. Air temperatures, actual air temperatures, widespread in the teens, likely in the single digits along the I-20 corridor. Sweetwater at 9 tomorrow. Let's say Abilene at 11 to 10 degrees tomorrow morning for early Sunday. Big Lake at 13, San Angelo, middle teens, 14 to 15 degrees overnight. By Sunday afternoon, we do not emerge above freezing. It's going to be cold and freezing all weekend long. It's not until Monday afternoon where we get above 32. But look at that, Sunday afternoon, middle to lower 20s area wide. And then those winds, they do diminish in strength, every now and then through Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. But this is Sunday morning. Wind chills as low as the -5 to -10 range. The wind chills are going to be extremely dangerous tomorrow morning, near zero for several areas like San Angelo, towards Big Spring, towards Junction at about 5 to 6. So the wind speeds do make a huge difference, and then they go even lower into Sunday into Monday morning. So the overnight hours is the big concern for of course, temperatures and the wind chill pockets that could be down below zero. Okay, big weather concern. Here's radar. As you can see, widespread snowfall across far, let's say, North Texas, the Red River, into the Panhandle, towards Lubbock, I-27. That's where it's a little bit more widespread. But where you see those purple colors coming in, that is indicating more of a wintry mix. The light pink colors, kind of like where, let's say, northern Valverde County, north of Del Rio, that's more of a freezing rain. But as the moisture from the southwest, from the Pacific, moves over into our region, San Angelo, I-20, Abilene, Colorado City, it's going to enter more of a cold environment, and that transitions into a wintry mix, that sleet mix, and then eventually it almost looks like the I-20 corridor is where it starts to convert over to snowfall. But we're in that region where we do expect more of a widespread freezing rain and a wintry mix, more of that sleet is expected through this afternoon, this evening, and then some of that may transition into some light snow flurries by early Sunday morning, which we'll show you in a second on future radar. But yeah, a lot of snow across the plains, across the Lubbock area, Panhandle, and north of the I-20 corridor. So that is the beginning of the winter storm. Matter of fact, this is the first round of precip to move through the area. Watch what happens as we fast forward through Saturday night, this evening, into early tomorrow morning. Another batch of moisture drives in from the west and southwest. Most of that is going to be freezing rain and or sleet, that wintry mix kind of variety of rainfall. Now, as we move into Sunday morning, that's when temperatures get even colder. We're looking at widespread teens and 20s across our area, factor in the winds a little colder than that. But as that moisture moves across the region, colder moving in from the north, that'll help develop and materialize a little bit of snow across our area. That's Sunday morning while most of us are asleep, 4, 5, 6 a.m. And is it going to be a lot? No. I would expect a light dusting of snowfall across our area, the Concho Valley between here and the I-20 corridor towards Abilene, and then higher amounts the farther north you go towards Lubbock, Amarillo, and even parts of Oklahoma. Now, if you're wondering, how long is this winter storm going to last? Not very long. That's the great news. Matter of fact, by tomorrow evening into Monday morning, a lot of that moisture moves east. We're still going to be dealing with very cold air because when you get clear skies, very dry, desert-like dry air, low humidity values, I mean, temperatures fall off rapidly, which is why we have weather impact alerts for Monday morning and early Tuesday for dangerous overnight lows. Okay, before we get to the extended forecast, let's look at this ice potential. I would say anywhere from here to Junction, parts of the hill country where you get into the higher elevations, that's where, based on some of this latest forecast data, is where it's a higher threat of more widespread additional freezing rain, ice potential. We could see anywhere from 1/100th to 1/10th of an inch of ice more, through tonight and through tomorrow morning. But I think there will be that narrow band, that narrow swath from, let's say, parts of Val Verde County towards Junction, Mason, Brady, Brownwood, and even towards especially East Texas and northern Louisiana. That's where the threat of more widespread freezing rain is looking more likely through tomorrow morning. Now, regarding snowfall, I know a lot of folks are wondering about this. As previously mentioned, the farther north you go, Oklahoma, Panhandle, Amarillo, Lubbock, that's where you can cash in on maybe 4 to 6 inches of additional snowfall. But the farther south you go into our area, I do think we see some, but it's just going to be a light dusting, a light amount of snowfall, anywhere from here to Big Lake, Midland, Odessa, Abilene, maybe on average between 1/4 to 1 inch of snowfall as possible, primarily in the overnight hours between tonight through tomorrow morning. Okay, let's talk about the 7-day forecast between here and Abilene. Very cold weather, so weather impact alerts stay in effect through tomorrow, high of 27 for your Sunday. There will be some pre-dawn, early morning precip, high temperature of 27 Sunday afternoon, and then as the moisture moves out, the concern relies and remains in the overnight temperatures. Look at this. San Angelo, 9 degrees Monday morning, a hard freeze, 16 early Tuesday, and then here comes the recovery. No more precip, barely any rain chances next week, but right now highs back in the 50s. Sunday and Monday we're looking at highs in the 20s and 30s. For Abilene, a little colder. Look at this, 6 degrees Monday early, 14 early Tuesday, with a 10 to 20% coverage on additional rain and maybe some wintry mix across the Concho Valley and West Texas through Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, it's after Sunday when it starts to dry out, still stays cold. Temperatures back near 50 by next Thursday and next Friday, with probably another round of some colder air moving in by this time next weekend. All right, we'll toss it back to Fox local programming here in San Angelo.